Yes guys, welcome to Chef Hampshire, where today we're going to be cooking a creamy mushroom pasta with a fresh pasta dough. Enjoy! So we're going to start with our dough. So I got 500 grams of all-purpose flour. I'm using an Italian flour made for pasta, so it's a bit finer. And then we're just going to go with a small amount, sort of about a pinch of turmeric, so then it gives it that yellowish colour, so it looks like fresh egg pasta. And then you also want to go in with a generous pinch of sea salt, and then going in with your water. So if you just want to mix the dry ingredients together, making a small well in the middle, you want to go in with about 200 ml of water, and just go straight in with your hands, mixing it all together until it comes to one consistency. Once your pasta dough has come together, you want to then take it out, get it onto your work surface, along with those bits that might not have come together yet. And you just want to continuously knead it, again, until everything just comes together. You want to be doing this for about 10 minutes or so, maybe a bit longer. It's a good workout. So now that I've been kneading my pasta dough, it's all come together. I've just put it into a bowl, and I'm going to leave it in this bowl. I'm going to cover it with a tea towel, and I'm going to leave that to set for about 20 minutes. So now that we've got our pasta dough done and leaving it off to the side, we can get started with our sauce. So here I just have a pan with 2 tablespoons of vegan butter, and then 4 tablespoons of oil. So with the different fats at different temperatures, they'll melt differently and add an extra creaminess to the sauce. So now we've gone in with that, we want to go with our all-purpose flour again and go with 200 grams. So you might want to measure this out. And then you want to mix that all together, either with a wooden spoon or a whisk, or it'd be even quicker if you had an electric whisk to do this too. So now that we've just mixed them together, it's now like a paste consistency, and now is when you can go in with your soy milk. So I'm going to go with half a litre or half of a carton. You just want to slowly be pouring it in and mixing it as you go, just to keep it at this homogeneous texture. So now that we've got our sauce all together, our bechamel sauce, it's now a liquid consistency. I'm going to leave this now on a very low heat, just to simmer down, so then it can reduce a little bit and cook out that flour gradually, also continuously stirring it. So I've gone with 2 different types of mushrooms, both chestnut, just some of them being larger variants, some of them being smaller, and I've cut them into 2 different shapes. So with the larger ones, I went with the more traditional slice, and then with the smaller ones, I cut them into quarters, so then you get a bit more of that meaty texture. So adding the 2 different cuttings of the mushrooms, you add a different texture and a different dimension to the food you're cooking. And now that they're in the pan, we're going to go in with a generous amount of dried thyme. So you want to go all over, probably be about 2 tablespoons of thyme. And then you also want to go in with some garlic granules, about 2 teaspoons. And then you want to give it a bit of a mix up. Turn the heat down to a medium, and you want to put a lid on that so then it can steam through the mushrooms on top and also keep in all of that moisture, but then when it goes through the sauce, it will add a lot of extra flavour. So now that we've got our mushrooms cooking away, as well as our sauce, mushrooms on the medium heat with the lid on, and the sauce just on a very low heat, stirring it regularly, we can now go back to our pasta dough that will be well rested, give it another quick knead, and then you want to start to cut little pieces off the end, just like this. Give them a separate knead by themselves, as they are. And then you want to roll them out, or whatever type of pasta you decide to make. If you wanted to make penne, maybe have a pasta machine. Today I'm going to be making tagliatelle, so I'm going to roll it out thinly and cut it into those strips. So now that I've rolled out my dough, so it's just a mil or 2 thick, You can then flour it just a little bit on this side, and then you want to fold it over, flour it again, and fold that over again. And then you can go with your knife, cut these ends off, and then with the rest you can just cut it into strips, as thick or as thin as you like, and you'll end up with perfect pasta strips. So now that I've rolled out most of the pasta dough into these tagliatelle strips, a bit chunkier than tagliatelle, our mushrooms will be ready with all of that mushroom stocky moisture in there. You can now just put that through right into the sauce, along with all of that liquid from the pan. And you want to stir that through. If you wanted, you could add in some tofu into here and let it to cook off in the sauce as well, if you wanted some added protein. But this is beautifully rich and tasty, just as it is. Maybe give it a taste as you go along, add salt, or if you wanted more thyme or a bit more garlic, it's completely up to you. But this is one amazing pasta sauce. So now we can leave this again with the lid on, off to one side on a very low heat, and then we can get a big pot of boiling salted water to cook our pasta in. So now that we've got our pot of boiling water on a rolling boil, so there's quite a lot of bubbles, you want to season it heavily with salt, a couple generous pinches of your sea salt, and then you want to go in with some of your tagliatelle, some of your pasta, whatever you decided to make. You want to put them in, and then you want to give the pot a big stir just so the pasta doesn't stick to the bottom, or so they don't stick to each other. You want to keep the water moving so then the pasta's moving too. It will just take a couple minutes and then they'll start to rise to the top, and then you'll know that they're ready. Once they're ready, you can take the pasta straight from there into your pot with the sauce. So this is the last batch of pasta that's just done now. So you just want to whack it straight into the pot with all that sauce, the mushrooms, the added tofu if you wanted it, and all the rest of the pasta. And at this point you might notice that your sauce has become a bit stodgy. It might have all come together and reduced a bit too much. So you can just take a cup or a ladle of your pasta water and pour it into your pasta with the sauce, and you just want to stir that all together until it becomes the perfect consistency. So now that we've got our pasta done, it's all come together. You want to spiral it together, lift it up and get it into your bowl, along with the mushrooms, the tofu if you went for it, and that pasta. Then going with a grating of cheese over the top. And then finishing off with a sprig of basil. There you have creamy mushroom tagliatelle. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. So like, subscribe. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. If you do want to recreate this recipe, please tag me on Instagram @chef_Hampshire, and I'll upload some of them onto my story. If you enjoyed the video, press the like button below, subscribe and hit the bell. Peace.